lead this hour coming from Pro Bouncy Ball. The scandal files are opened up. We have had a plot twist in the anti-Semitic stylings of Kyrie Irving. The malcontent Brooklyn baller
racist
has addressed the elephant in the room. Now, if you did not hear the latest on this, if not, let me give you the details. So the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie Irving, and the Anti-Defamation League have released a joint statement. Woohoo! This is all regarding the guard's recent promotion of a anti-Semitic documentary on social media. Kyrie, it turns out, is going to donate $500,000 of his $36 million salary to charity. And Irving did not apologize for promoting a film that, among other things, claims that the Nazis' extermination of close to 6 million Jews in the Holocaust didn't happen. He didn't apologize for that promoting that on his platform. Now, Kyrie, the clown, accepted responsibility for the post, but again, no apology. So let us discuss the question. Is this statement from Kyrie and the Nets ludicrous or logical? So it's definitely not logical. It's ludicrous. It's poppycock is what it is. So I've got automated teller, arcade game, and Oz. And we will combine all these things, and we are going to make cheese curds. Is what we're going to make. A wonderful, wonderful addition to a dish, cheese curds. All right, so first of all, the Brooklyn Nets, you don't need me to tell you that they're on dangerous ground here. Their team's not that good. They've got PR crisis after PR crisis. This latest scandal is oozing green pus. All right, green pus is what it's oozing. Kyrie Irving, as we mentioned, he does not apologize. This doesn't even rank as a non-apology apology. Of course, if he had apologized, to be fair, we wouldn't have believed him, but it's a non-apology statement. We would be surprised if he had anything to do with the drafting of that particular document. Certainly appears that the Nets were like, all right, this is an oopsie situation, so we're going to fix it. So we're going to have our legal department write up a document. The Brooklyn basketball team is a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. They have a flotilla of PR agents, and so they decided to do what all big corporations do when boxed into a corner. They went down to the automated teller, the ATM, right? We call it the ATM. Went down there and they made a financial transaction. It's known as a cash withdrawal, is what it's known at the ATM. And the Nets, they put some money in on this. The Nets ponied up a bunch of money. They put Kyrie's name on it, and they are attempting to put out a wildfire, not with water, with money. And as for the carefully crafted press release written by lawyers, very vague, says almost nothing. Right? It's the old corporate speak. You talk without saying anything. Kyrie supposedly takes responsibility, but what he takes responsibility for, we're not really sure. He didn't use the A word, no apology again. But what is he taking responsibility for? Would be tough to apologize since he does support the film. He sent it out there. Irving said, quote, in the statement, or the lawyer said for Kyrie, I do not believe everything in the film, but he didn't say exactly what he does not believe. Like, what do you mean by that? Which parts of it do you believe? Do you believe the anti-Semitic parts? Do you believe the parts that aren't anti-Semitic? So we're not sure about that. Now, the Anti-Defamation League also looks bad in this. They co-signed on this document, giving Kyrie an excuse. It reminds me of when I was younger and there'd be a big scandal and somebody would cut a check, like a racial scandal, and they'd cut a check to Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton, right? And it's like, well, we'll cut a check, it'll go away. But this is like an escape portal. It's what it looks like from my side of things. You're looking at this story, it looks like an escape portal. Now, secondly, is Kyrie Irving out of the woods? So, no. If he's out of the woods, he's in the Sahara Desert. He goes from the woods to the desert. For the Nets PR, when you're dealing with Kyrie, it's like an old arcade game. Whack-a-mole. You're holding a mallet, and you're smashing the cartoonish moles that are popping up. You got to have your head on a swivel, right? You got to go back and forth on a swivel. And points are scored. You got to whack each mole as it appears. The faster your reaction time, the higher your score. Now, my favorite part of this latest chapter in this story from Sprinkles the Clown, Kyrie Irving talking out of both sides of his mouth. He relishes being a firebrand, but doesn't want to take the heat when it pops up. It's a fascinating case study, and I'm sure many a college professor will examine this part of Kyrie's life and say, well, here's what he should have done. Here's what he did do. The other night is a perfect example. So Kyrie on Saturday night, I believe it was Saturday night, it was over the weekend. He wanted to be known as an agent of change. And Irving had said that he was in a unique position to have a level of influence on his community. And then a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds later in the interview, same interview, he said, I'm no different than the next human being. You guys, meaning the media, come in here and make up this influence that I have. So within the span of a couple minutes, he was talking about the level of influence he had. Then when called on the bull crap, the bullshoy, right, the baloney that he was serving, he then said, oh, you guys come in here and make up this influence that I have. He had just said it. He just said it. All right, final thought. So how will the Brooklyn fan react to the latest plot twist in this story? So this is another very stimulating part of the tale because Kyrie Irving has pulled an Oz, not the Wizard of Oz, not Dr. Oz. We're talking about Oz as in Ozzie Guillen. You might not remember this, but let's go in the hot tub time machine. We're going to go back a number of years, about a decade ago, and the baseball team in Miami, the Miami baseball team known as the Marlins, they hired a new manager. His name was Ozzie Guillen, who's Venezuelan. The plan was that since Ozzie is of Latin heritage, that the Latin baseball fan will support the Marlins. But mainly, it was to attract the Cuban baseball fan, right? There's a lot of ex-Cubans. Yeah, went to Miami. There's a huge Cuban population. So Ozzie Guillen did an interview with a magazine where he said he loved Fidel Castro, a notorious interview. Now, doing it while managing in the U.S. city that has the biggest Cuban-American population, talked about his love of Fidel Castro. Needless to say, that went over like a lead balloon. And now here you have Kyrie Irving, who just promoted a movie that denies the Holocaust, the death of millions of Jews, while playing in the city that has the highest Jewish population outside of Israel, in the New York City area there. You talk about a Phi Beta Kappa move by Kyrie. And Ozzie Guillen did last the rest of that season with the Marlins, but he was not brought back. They got rid of him for a myriad of reasons. But that interview was one of the reasons, and Kyrie's not long for the Nets, and I'm sure that he'll claim, oh, no, I want to stay now and all that. I wouldn't want to stay if I was him. I would get the heck out of there, too. A couple months ago, he wanted to play on the Lakers. Maybe he wants to play on the Lakers, too.